Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray. I'm a detransition male, and today I want to talk to all the men out there who are struggling with gender dysphoria, who are struggling with the desire to transition, who are struggling with obsessive compulsive thoughts, telling them that their life would be so much better if only they gave in to these temptations to transition. I want to talk to the men out there who are struggling with their pornography usage, who are addicted to transgender pornography, addicted to transgender erotica. I want to talk to all the men out there who are envious of women, who think that, life as a man is terrible and that, their life would be better if they transitioned to be a woman or to attempt to be a woman. I want to talk to all the men out there who think that, you know, they're they're unable to have normal, healthy sexual relationships with their wife. I want to talk to all the men out there who, yeah, are just struggling with these gender issues, who are just tempted to give in, who are at the brink of giving in, who are struggling with identity issues, with confusion about their masturbation habits, about their fetishes, about why are they like this, and so I want to use this post here from Reddit that I saw on the Ask AGP um, subreddit. So this guy says, I can't take this anymore. I've decided I'm going to transition. I just can't take it anymore. I've been trying to repress since I was 18. I'm now 28 and it's just become unbearable. I tried to repress, but every 6 to 12 months, there's a flare up of my dysphoria and urge to transition. I just can't take it anymore. It's become exhausting pretending that I'm just a normal male. All I ever wanted was to live a normal male life, have a wife, and have kids. But my thoughts have now just become consumed with transitioning and how much I want to be a girl. Every time I'm in a relationship with a woman, it's great, but it's soon replaced by my AGP. I can only get aroused to the thought of other trans women or being feminized myself. I can't even concentrate and enjoy everyday life anymore. There's just this voice screaming that I'm trans and need to transition. I've decided to give into it. The thought of being 80 and never having got the chance to be a woman is killing me. I booked in to get HRT and start my transition. I can live with trying and failing, but I can't live with never trying and repressing forever. It's just too much. I can probably still pass, even if it requires surgeries, which I can afford. I'm 28, and any longer, I'm just going to end up a hun on Susan's place. I have a great life with a woman I love, but I can't even make love to her anymore. So what's the point? My heterosexuality is dead now. So defeated. Okay, so this voice that is screaming to you that prevents you from concentrating, that is the devil. That is demonic. That is diabolical. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is the enemy trying to convince you to give in. But that's just like any other temptation. You can't give into it. He said he tried to repress, but every 6 to 12 months was a flare up of my dysphoria and urge to transition. Why do we have these urges in the first place? Where do they come from? They come from our fallen nature. It's called concupiscence in the theological literature. Concupiscence is a disordered inclination to do the wrong thing, a disordered inclination to give into lust and these fleshly desires. Um, but now I want to sort of use an analogy here. Suppose that this man's paraphilia, his fetish, his kink, his fantasies, his obsessive compulsive thoughts, suppose they weren't about, wanting to feminize yourself and become a woman. Suppose they were about being a PDF file. You know what I'm saying? Now, would you say that, well, I've just decided to give into it and I'm going to download some stuff that I shouldn't be downloading so that I can get off to that? Now, would we say that, well, just because it's difficult, just because it's making me not concentrate, that just because it prevents me from having normal heterosexual relationships with my wife, would we say that therefore, because of those things, because it's difficult to concentrate, because you're dealing with these temptations, that it's therefore justifies going down that pathway and giving into that sin? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. We would say, keep battling, keep fighting, keep praying, pray the rosary, pray to Jesus Christ, ask for the help, pray to your guardian angel, go to confession, go to mass, get the sacraments, receive Jesus, you know, focus on your prayer life. Don't give in, live a life of virtue. We wouldn't say like, "Oh, yeah, just give into it, no big deal," because, you have this disordered inclination and, it's really difficult and it's exhausting battling. No, we wouldn't say that. We would say, "Keep battling, keep struggling, keep praying." Um, we wouldn't say to give in. But why is it any different with autogynephilia? It's still, disordered in the same way. Maybe it's not as severe of a sin in terms of its impact on others, but it's still offensive to God. It still offends God to go down this pathway because you're giving into lust. You're giving into a disordered distortion of normal sexuality. God designed our sexuality for marriage, and marriage is between a man and a woman. And the purpose of sex within a marriage is to have unitive bonding and openness to life. And so that you can, you know, produce more saints that go to heaven and educate those saints and educate your children so that they become saints, so they can go to heaven. So there's more creatures worshiping God. That is the ultimate purpose of sex. Now, AGP is a distortion of that reality. Now, why do we have this? Why? I was born with this. I suffer from this myself. And yes, I have temptation, but that doesn't mean you should give into it. You have to keep struggling. You have to keep struggling. But what tools do you have? What tools do you have? Have you made an effort to remove all the temptations from your life? Have you stopped watching pornography? Have you stopped the sin of self-abuse, the sin of the sin of masturbation? Have you stopped giving in to all this lust and temptation? Have you removed all these triggers? Are you browsing transgender subreddits? Are you following trans creators that are making you envious or tempting you? You got to get rid of all that stuff. You got to get rid of all the temptations. Cut off the pornography. That's probably the issue. I guarantee the issue is the pornography. Cut it out. Put blockers on your phone. Delete all your accounts. Get off Reddit. Get off Twitter. Make some effort to remove the triggers, remove the temptations. Pray the rosary. Ask Mother Mary, the Blessed Virgin, for protection. She will shield you from the enemy. But you have to keep battling this. You can't give in because it's not going to be a path to happiness. It's not. This is called escalation of paraphilia. But the solution to the escalation of paraphilia is not to indulge the paraphilia, it's to fight it. But you need tools. What tools are you using? Do you have any tools in your toolkit? Are you just purely relying on your own willpower, on your own abilities? No, you have to appeal to a higher power. You need the help of God. You need the help of the saints. You need the help of Mary. Ask them to pray for you. You need the help of the sacraments. Get right with God. Go to confession. And if you're not Christian, you should become Christian because, like, it's true. It's a true religion, and there's power in Christ, Power in Christ. Make the sign of the cross. Pray to Mary. Ask for Mary's help. Ask for Mary to intercede for you. All these things will help you. But no, you shouldn't give up. You have a great life with the woman you love. Marry her. Sacrifice yourself to her. Sacrifice your desire for her. Be self-sacrificial. Do not give in. And yes, it is a battle. It is a struggle, but we all battle with things. Life is a battle. We're living in a world of spiritual warfare. We are living in a world where the enemy is alive and well, and there's so much disorder in our world, particularly in America, particularly on the internet. And there's so much degeneracy and filth and just, I mean, it's just terrible. And there's so many temptations all over, but you have to put in the effort to get rid of all the triggers and focus on the life of virtue. And yes, all I've ever wanted is to live a normal male life, have a wife and kids. Yes, that is what you should be striving for. That is a good desire. That is your natural inclination. That is your normal natural inclination. You're called by God. You were created by God, made in the image of God, designed for marriage and kids. We are all designed by God. Our sexual organs were designed by God for the purposes of marriage and kids. That is what our penises and our vaginas were made for marriage and kids. That's why God gave us those organs, for marriage and kids. And so, yes, that is a desire. Now, yes, there's going to be temptations. There's going to be flare-ups. There's going to be urges. There's going to be temptations. Yes, it's going to be exhausting, but that does not mean that you give in. That does not mean that this is going to be an answer to your happiness. No, it's not going to make you happy in the long run. It's not going to lead to true joy, and it's going to put you in a state of mortal sin because you're giving into lust, and that's going to jeopardize your soul. So, yes, repressing forever is a good thing. Just like we would say to the PDF file, it's good to repress forever. The AGP should also repress forever, because that is living in accordance with God's will. Now, I recognize that if you're not Christian, everything I'm saying is not going to be, you're not going to accept it. You're going to think it's ridiculous. You're going to think it's superstitious, that it's unhealthy, that, I'm just, I have people tell me all the time that, repressing for Jesus is not going to work. It's too extreme. And yes, I've relapsed a couple times since I went down this faith pathway, since I converted to Catholicism. But I can tell you, I am 8 days clean right now from those temptations, from giving into my own AGP. And it is a million times better. My mind is so much clearer. My mind is working a million times better than it was when I was giving into this stuff, because lust destroys the intellect. It warps your mind. It blackens your mind. It destroys your ability to think clearly. And you need the sacraments. Go to mass on a regular basis. Pray constantly. And yes, it is a struggle. And just because it's a struggle doesn't mean it's not good to battle it out. All the saints of history have acknowledged that prayer is warfare. That yes, we are dealing with warfare. We are living in a pagan culture of immorality and degeneracy and filth, pornography, and every imaginable fetish is encouraged, and it's all over Reddit, it's all over Twitter, and trans culture is inundated with all this filth. Trans culture is seeped with all this filth. Trans culture is so degenerate, and they glorify it, and they say it's normal. They say that this is just normal, and that kink and degeneracy and fetish and porn and masturbation, all this stuff. It's normal and healthy. And like, you know, and you're a prude if you repress this stuff. You're a prude if you try and battle it out to live out, you know, a life of virtue as a man. But I'm telling you from personal experience, giving into all that filth is not a path to happiness. It's not. True happiness comes from living a life of virtue. And it is not virtuous to give in to your paraphilias. It is just not. So, all right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye-bye. God bless.